Hey there, it's Mr. Miller. We're going to go over a new project called Data Collection. This is project number 2. It reviews some of the work that we did in project 1, the personal schedule or introduction to Google Sheets. If you remember in that project, we looked at some of the basic things in Google Sheets, such as columns, the vertical collection of cells. All the columns have a letter at the top of them. We looked at rows, which are these left to right horizontal collections of cells. Every one of these boxes is known as a cell. The location of this cell is the crossing of a column and a row. So in this case, this cell right here is C3, and you can tell what cell you're clicked in by clicking up here or looking at where these two are meeting. Or just where this blue box is, going up and over, you can figure it out that way. So another quick way to know which one you're on G, and this one is a little bit darker, so it's 20. So I don't even have to look up here. I can tell that I'm on G20 just by looking at the darker column and row heading. Any text you enter will be also entered up here in the formula bar. So when I'm clicking down here and I enter first, it is also entered up here in the top in the formula bar. So the project that we're doing this week, or this part, is called the data collection. Let's change that up there really quick. Miller data collection. And we're going to do 4 columns that need to be the same as mine. This is your birthday. First name, last name, zip code, and date of birth. And then the other ones are totally up to you. I'm going to do favorite color, favorite season, favorite pop or soda if you're from the South, and then shoe size. 'Cause why not? So if you remember from our first lesson, in project 1, we talked about the adjustment of columns. If the column was big, you can click there and drag it back to make it smaller. If, like here in the favorite pop or soda, some of the text goes behind, you can actually click on this little blue line and bring it out farther so that things fit in there. One thing I did not show you was that if you go to that blue line, you can double click and it will automatically resize the column to whatever the longest bit of text is in there. So in this case, it expands it out so that it's just wider than the favorite pop or soda. Shoe size, I can bring that back as well. Since we're going to have a number of people entering data on here, we can select all of the header row and then bring it down to like 35 or so. That'd be fine. So just so you have everything selected there, instead of using, I talked before about using the theme really doesn't do what we would think the theme would make it do. What we need to go down to is this alternating colors. And you'll see that it automatically does a header row. If I uncheck the header row, it turns that off. If it has a check mark, it's going to have a darker color across the top, and then it's going to alternate white, gray, white, gray, white, gray. I can choose any of these on here that I'd like. So I'm going to do this one. And I'm also going to take this first row and I'm going to make this bold just so it stands out a little bit more. So now what you're going to do is you're going to share this with the entire class. And I created a group for you. To add the group to this document, you're going to type Miller and then space computer, and you'll see that there are Miller Computer Apps 1, Computer Apps 2, Computer Apps 6. Those are my 3 hours of computer applications classes. You're going to choose the one that is associated with you, and in this case it's Computer Apps 1, and you'll see that it gets added here. We want to uncheck this box because I don't want to have an email popping up to everybody in the class. And then you click share. it'll get shared, and it'll go to everybody's shared with me folder. When they click on there, they will see an entire list of documents shared there. I'm going to unshare this very quickly. And so once you see a collection there, a whole bunch of different shared with me data collection, you're going to open them up. You're going to enter your information. Oh, first name, Mr. Last name, Miller, zip code 7/14/1983. Not really my birthday. Green, spring, surge, and 11. There we go. So you're going to enter your information on everybody's Google Sheet. So as we're working through this project, you should see a number of people entering their data on here for you. So this is data collection part 1. When we get into the next part, we will finish up some of this information. A lot of this we're going to use on a couple of different projects. And so the big skills here are creating the data using an automatic alternating colors. I call it a theme, but alternating colors here. And then finally, being able to expand and shrink columns as needed. So, well, I guess it's not finally, because the last one is looking at the share tab and sharing this with the class, and then accessing all of the shared with you documents, all the data collections on there, and entering your information. So everybody should be entering the same first 4, and then after that you'll have 4 different ones that you're going to enter something different probably in everybody's screen. So as we're going through this part 1, that's the basic step for part 1. And when we get into part 2 in the next lesson, we're going to take some of this information and modify it. If you have any questions on this part 1 project, please let me know.